Welcome into the Bluegrass Burnouts YouTube channel. Today we are talking about the Paperclip, one of the most iconic tracks on the NASCAR schedule. It's produced some of the most iconic moments. Martinsville. Someone's winning themselves a clock this weekend, Cody.
Yeah, yes, sir. God, it is genuinely one of my favorite tracks. One that is on my bucket list to go to,
Same here.
but it's beating and banging. It's not a high speed court or high speed track. It's not you're gonna get like anything like that. But the technicality of this track is just insane. Like the thing that I always look to when I talk about Martinsville is you can make one mistake and go from the front to the back. Because if you get stuck on that outside, you're not getting let down.
No.
Like no one's gonna let you down. If you stay on that outside, there's no telling how far back you drop. So you have to be on your marks. You have to make sure that you hit everything perfectly. It's super technical. You cannot miss one bit. And if you're gonna go out there and win this race, you have to be perfect. And that's just the beauty of Martinsville, man. It's just the beauty of Martinsville.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Looking forward to a great weekend here. We only have O'Reilly and Cup this weekend, Cody. But it is shaping up to be a pretty good weekend. Weather down there is looking pretty well to start the week. Is that correct? I thought I saw that, but I also saw that things might be able to change.
I believe I saw a tweet that said the weather was supposed to be fine, but it
It's
always
the
changes. It
it's the
always
South and early
changes.
spring. Like for example, a few weeks ago back home, it was 75, then a tornado, and then it snowed. So it
Yep.
can happen. And let's
We
just
had Conway, we had 85, 90 yesterday, and now it's 55.
really.
Wasn't even a storm. It just got cold.
Dang. Yeah, that's rough. That is very rough. Yeah, it's not really like that here. It was 85 yesterday. It's 68 today, but it's going to get a lot warmer.
Yeah.
As the day goes on, we're doing this pretty early in the morning. So, let's go on ahead and talk about who we think is going to be dominating this weekend. Starting with Cody's, we already know who Cody's pick is for the
We do.
pick'em.
We do.
Cody, go ahead and talk about this gentleman right here.
We're going to go ahead and get into it. And, I feel like, sometimes it's difficult to look at the guy who won the last race and go, oh, he does it again. Because, it's very difficult to win back to back races, no matter what track you're at, no matter where you are. It's difficult to do. And, we talk about this already this season. That's why what Tyler Reddick has done this season is so impressive. Obviously, doing it at different tracks is very different. But, going and winning a race, two straight races at the same track is incredibly difficult. But I think we see it. The Chevys haven't really been on a great run, but I think that William Byron is the guy to get it done. And truthfully, if I'm being super honest, I don't have like a great argument to say there's a reason this is going to happen. This is just kind of a gut feeling. He runs really well here. Obviously won the last race, but even when he's not winning, they run super well here. This is a very Chevy heavy track. Even though it's been won by pretty much everybody. We've had Toyotas, we've had Fords, Blaney's won here, I believe, Hamlin's won here. We literally anyone can win this race, but I think that if the Chevys are going to get on track, really get their season, in gear, get ready to go, I think that it's going to be this week. And of the four Chevy or Hendrick Chevy drivers, I think it lies between Larson and I think it lies between Byron. And while I do believe that Larson is having a better season to this point, I think that Byron has had the more consistency. He's looking better points wise. I like Larson, but given the fact that he's won here before, he runs super well here. I think that William Byron has an incredible chance to go out there and get this thing done this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of pick'ems, Cody, you've already talked about my guy for this week. Also going with a Chevy, and that is Kyle Larson.
Can't blame you.
Larson runs really good on the short tracks. The guy, is a dirt racer, arguably the best dirt racer in the world, but he still also runs really, really, really well on short tracks. This is his wheelhouse, like we always say, or like we've been honing on a lot this year, Kyle Larson, the tracks that we have at the beginning of the calendar are not his best tracks. Historically,
Definitely
they are not
not.
his best tracks. However, when we are looking at it, we can certainly say that the past couple tracks have been his wheelhouse, and this is also his wheelhouse. He's a great short track racer.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm going for Kyle Larson. I do think he has a good shot at winning. I'm not sure if he will, but I am very confident in saying I do believe he'll finish in the top five.
I absolutely agree with you there. And I think this was really difficult because one of the things that we talk about, like I mentioned, anyone really can win this race. You could go Blaney here, you can go Hamlin here, you could go any of the other Toyotas. Hell, you could go Gibbs here, and it truthfully wouldn't be a bad pick. We've talked a lot about the 54 team. They're running really well right now. The Toyota speed, the Toyotas have been absolutely dominating. I wouldn't have. There were so many options. It's just kind of a gut feeling here. And it really, I think another part of it, and I kind of already went over this, is just Chevy's got to get it in gear at some point, right?
Yeah.
And if it's going to happen, I have a hard time believing that it's not going to be this weekend. But, like I said, there's genuinely so many options here. So that's honestly makes it more difficult to pick because you could go out and pick one guy and then, they've got 15 other drivers ahead of them, all of which with a better, if not the same chance to go out there and do the thing that we want them to do. So it's a very difficult track to pick, but, I think it's one that I don't know. I've just got a good feeling about it. But looking at the previous races here, obviously we were talking about it. The last one was won by Byron. Blaney was second in that race, Elliott third, Chastain, Larson. So the previous race was just Chevy and Ford dominated. There was one, and I repeat, one Toyota in the top 10 at the last Martinsville race, and it was Christopher Bell. Don't get
Hmm.
me wrong, I love Christopher, but I wouldn't say that he would be my pick. But I picked him last week. Maybe I should have switched my two picks this week. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because at the race before that, the March race of last year, he was second place. That was a Toyota race. We had three Toyotas in the top three positions. Denny Hamlin wins that race. But then again, you've got Elliott, Larson, Chastain, Priest, Logano, Briscoe. Like, genuinely, it's not, how we talked a lot last week about how it's a Toyota track. This is not, Martinsville is not any manufacturer kind of track. And I think that really is, we talked about the beauty of Martinsville. It's so difficult to get a groove here, if that makes sense. You can go out and have a fast car, but all it takes is one mistake, one bad strategy call, one bad pit call, one bad pit stop. It genuinely can just be one thing that derails your day, and the winner just won't have that. So it's a little nerve-wracking being one of those races where you really don't know, but we're going to just have to find out on Sunday, I guess.
We will. We will be finding out on Sunday. Just so you know, Cody, betting odds favorite according to CBS Sports is Ryan Blaney right now.
I don't hate that. Like I
No, I
said,
don't hate that either. I don't hate that
finish
either.
second in the last race. Already has a
He's
win
also
this
a
season.
very good short track racer.
Very good. There's a lot of really good short track racers in this field. And I've already mentioned a bunch of different guys, but it's there's just you really never know. And I know I keep saying that a lot, but that truthfully is the end of it. Is we can make our picks, we can be all confident in this, but at the end of the day, you just don't know. And I think that's why this week is so interesting because, we've talked about how we've had these incredible races, these unpredictable races. We haven't truthfully had like a domination race yet. I think we were really close with Darlington, but then Reddick has that issue as to fight back. Probably could have been a domination race,
Oh, yeah.
but we didn't end up getting that. And apart from that, you've got the super speedways. You've got Coda. That was a great race. You kind of had your front runners there with it being a road course. but a great race. Phoenix, great race. You have your front runner, and then the front runner doesn't even win the race, which, another one where you just never know. But these short tracks really just breed chaos. And that's what you really have to be prepared for going into this weekend is, we talk about all it takes is one mistake. It's not even just that. It's just all it takes is one other driver making a mistake and it can
Exactly.
impact you. Like, for example, obviously I'm a Bowman fan, so this is going to be the first one that comes into my head, was Bowman winning at Martinsville. And, you drive in, makes a little bit of contact with Denny. Denny gets up the track. That's a thing that happens here. It's not he's pushing him out of the way on purpose or he wrecked him on purpose. That's not it. You're not wrecking anybody on purpose. But when it gets down to, time to the end of the race, if you have a restart, it's going to be beating and banging. There's going to be a lot of shoving. There's going to be a lot of paint trading. And you really just never know who's going to come out on top and who's going to get screwed over. So I'm just super excited for this weekend, man. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. Martinsville, like I said, is one of my favorite tracks, one that I definitely want to get up to at some point. So I think we're in store for an incredible weekend.
We are in store for a very incredible weekend, Cody. You have anything else? I personally don't have anything else. I mean, it's a very kind of cut and dry
It
type of
really
thing
does
here.
feel like that. Yeah, I've kind of repeated myself a lot
I
here,
feel like we
but
both have.
it's just, yeah. We're just going to leave it at that. I don't need to repeat myself anymore. Those are the picks. We're going to have to stick with it. We'll see how all that goes, but ready to get this weekend underway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And like we always say, you guys have a good rest of your day.